So hey anime fans, the series name is What If Naruto Got Harem with Anko and Kurenai. So let's start the series. You understand what it's like to suddenly become sentient after being a non-sentient background character? I'm just staring stupidly at this strangely familiar swing. Not even a single frame of animation or dialogue, just a real background character. At one point, I was just another snotty little brat playing ninja in the academy's front yard, but after looking at that awful swing, I suddenly realized that I am. And I both instantly understood and not grasped this quote concerning the condition of self-awareness. Wait, who's Tenten? That damn swing gets more screen time than Tenten. Who am I? Hey you, what's my name? I asked a random child, and he tilted his head as though he thought I was really dumb. I dunno, never seen you before. Ah, I see the gigantic-ass Mount Rushmore ripoff. I mean inspired artwork of a Hokage mountain, and I have no idea who I am. I am in friggin' Konoha everywhere. I'm a lousy OC in a shitty fanfic? Oh no. Oh no. The horror. The cringe. Tell me, please, that I at least own the basic, embarrassing OP fanfic cheats like as the gamer or something. System. I mean, and yet, open menu. Well, and so on. Even though it's hot and early evening, I swear I heard cricket sounds to break up the complete joke I'm telling. I'm stuck in a super ninja death world and I don't even have the gamer. Based on the rags of cloth I'm wearing, I estimate that I'm slated as an orphan character from the Kyuubi incident, possibly even one of the anonymous Naruto bullies. This means that I don't have a super special clan with super special Kekii Genkai or magic eyeballs as my OC wanking. I feel like the butt of a cosmic joke that was penned by a bored neckbeard just before bed. Fuck. In any case, I can remember a lot of things from Earth like guns, airplanes, video games, and the fact that Naruto is one of the biggest anime franchises in the world. However, I have no idea who I am from Earth, and my mind only contains hazy memories of some sort of world called Earth. Wow, whoever handled my reincarnation really did a terrible job of wiping out my memories. Even so, what can I do with this information anyway? Make guns? Fuck do I know? I have no engineering experience, failed high school chemistry, and have a math allergy. This is probably why my shady writer doesn't bother with the gamer stuff. She is too lazy to keep track of the math. Could I change the plot? For example, stop the Uchiha massacre? When did it happen, or has it already happened? Hell, what can an orphan like me dressed in rags do? Moshi Moshi, is this the AMBU? I would want to report an impending atrocity. I spent the entire night thinking about this in the classroom. You would think that some staff would have discovered me skulking around the academy because, well, ninjas are ninjas, but they didn't bother to patrol the building. Since I don't have any money, I've been surviving on pipe water and stealing tomatoes and carrots from the backyard garden of a nearby house. Didn't tomatoes originate in America? Did the planet Naruto have a counterpart to the American continents, or did they just develop organically here? Anyway, I just decide to wait for my version of Irika-sensei to come get me and conveniently tell everything because I have no idea who I am or where I live. I worked so hard on this idea that I forgot I'm not very good at arithmetic. It was freezing outside and there were a lot of mosquitoes when I woke up from my hardly restful sleep at daybreak. It would be amusing if I weren't even a registered student here, which would further demonstrate how unimportant I am to the plot. Perhaps I am homeless because no one ever found me. Give me a rest here, writer, dude. In any case, I looked in the mirrors to see how I looked in the bathroom. My eyes are blue, and my hair is black and styled like that guy Sieg from Fate Apocrypha, though I can't be certain because I'm only 7 or 8 years old right now. My face is cute, thank God, and I'm glad I got that OC perk. I'll be damned if I get the filler character design treatment. Boruto character design is the worst. Naruto filler character design was the worst. Man, I am such a sitting duck here. I wish I knew more about real science and engineering than pointless anime knowledge. Wait, who are you, kid? Thank heavens, this is the JP dub. In any case, a familiar person comes in and asks me a worrisome question. Really, Konoha is considerably larger than I had anticipated. It would be more correct to refer to the entire area as city hidden in the leaves rather than village hidden in the leaves. There are likely between 15,000 and 20,000 people living there, with roughly half of them being ninja clans. Most of the other clans don't seem to have much of a unique clan jutsu or kekiai genkai, likely remnants of vassal clans of the major clans. Kakashi once mentioned the Hatake clan, but I have no idea what their specialty is. Being genius? Doesn't seem that unique, really. The anime probably only mentions the most elite of these clans. The Kyuubi incident and the previous Shinobi War have resulted in a significant reduction in Konoha's manpower. To increase their numbers, the Murder Gremlin Academy, yes, I am aware that's not the real name, has lowered their admissions requirements and permitted admissions from non-clan civilian children, which is primarily orphans. Since the village must provide for us destitute jerks, we essentially have no choice but to join Konoha Enterprises' war machine. Well, shit, I had intended to become a merchant when I grew up and left this desolate village because I don't want to be nuked by pain. I was enrolled in the academy when I was 8 years old. There were 6 classes in our batch, each with 30 children. The clan kids were in classes A and B, while the rest of us lower mobs from civies and lower rank clans were in classes C, D, E, and F. It baffles me why the Latin alphabet is used to identify the classes because I'm positive that no Western countries are contacting this Asian country, and the Naruto world building was a bewildered mess. Anyway, my name is Makoto Hataru and I am the top-ranked student in Class F. Yes, I am the strongest of the lowest-ranking mob characters, but it's still an accomplishment. It's not hard to beat up snotty brats who are 8 years old. Lowest tier of Chakra Reserve lacks unique genetic characteristics and has a low capacity for intelligence. I'm not very brilliant merely because I know a little bit about Earth, and the most of what I know is basically pointless information from anime wikis and a ton of strange animal videos. Who knew dolphins were psychopaths? Oh, back to the ninja curriculum. I essentially have the life of an expendable pawn to look forward to, since we see DEF class members are essentially being prepared to enter the Genin Corps directly. There isn't a special Jounin sensei for us losers, that's for the AB class. Yes, indeed. Regarding the Uchiha massacre incident, I'm just 8 years old and in the F class, by the way. What the heck can I do to stop it? I gladly assign the task to everyone else by simply mailing a letter titled Uchiha Revolt to each clan's mailbox, naturally anonymously. Let them work out that nonsense. Sasuke doesn't attend school today, as I saw 2 weeks ago. I check Class 1A every day as I pass by on my way to class, merely to see the cast of Cannon. Man, Sakura's parents must be wealthy because she doesn't deserve to be in that class. Yes, Sasuke isn't at school today, isn't he? It's strange because the child has a flawless attendance record. Well, I'd better dick. All you kids sit down quietly. This is a hostage situation. Our class was invaded by a fiery red-eyed ninja, and it appears that the other students are also being held captive. There's no need to act like I'm friggin' Aizen here. I just pretended to be as terrified as the other kids around me. Viva Lu Revolution, Kukuku. According to Kikaku, I was the cause of the Uchiha Revolt. I am now 10 years old and in my 3rd year of the Murder Drone Education Program, where we kids beat the living daylights out of one another and are brainwashed into believing the propaganda of the will of fire. It has been 2 years since I was coerced into attending the Murder Drone Academy. Now that Sasuke is a student, I would use my Sugoi manipulative tactics to make Uchiha Sasuke my inner circle for my 5D chess master plan to conquer the elemental nations in the manner of a typical OC narrative. Yes, Sasuke once entered my class, beat the living daylights out of me, and took first place in the F class. He has maintained that position ever since. Hello, this is Makoto Hataru, the second-ranking student in Class 3F. Sasuke has been training hard every day in an attempt to advance in his class, but politics has proven to be his worst enemy. The academic board simply looks at his name and says, nope, nah, regardless of how well he performed in Shuriken Jutsu or how much better he was than everyone else in Taijutsu spars. Because of this discrimination, Sasuke has been in a constant state of sadness for 2 years. All Uchiha children have been viewed as flight risks and are suppressed as a result. In any case, I've been considering my options a lot. Initially, I wanted to work as a merchant or something, then go to a better country like, hey, who are we fooling, everywhere is terrible and has the potential to be nuked by mad ninjas. Since that plan didn't work out, I decided to just become a strong ninja instead. I wanted to become a strong genin, but not so strong that the Hokage would send me on pointless C-rank missions, which are actually S-rank in disguise. I didn't train for advanced chakra control exercises like tree climbing and water walking to avoid drawing attention to myself. I don't need to flip Danzo for being too talented for my own good, sir, and I have no intention of becoming root fungus. Since I have little reserve, it's easy to train chakra control. After 2 years of practicing in secret, I went from sticking leaves on my forehead to rotating pens on the tip of my finger, and now I can spin 5 pens simultaneously on different parts of my body. It was enjoyable. In any case, I reasoned that since I already know so much about anime, why not modify additional anime abilities to be used with chakra? Hunter x Hunter is one power system that comes to mind, and it's so comparable that I can apply the fundamentals of Nin to chakra. Zen to hide the chakra, Ten to use chakra to wrap the body, Run will ignite the chakra in a more powerful outburst. Gyo to direct Ren's attention on a particular bodily part. Hatsu is essentially a kind of jutsu. I didn't attempt to practice adjusting Rin to chakra, but Zen and Ten were simple enough to pass for standard chakra control exercises. If someone asks, I'll simply tell them that I'm a naive orphan who doesn't know what true chakra control exercises are. But as for the nature of chakras, I wish I wasn't an earth element, man. Look at the strength of throwing rocks. It's the most boring element ever. Anyone who does earth magic is lame unless they are Tofbeifang. My preference for Sasuke over Naruto is undoubtedly prejudiced due to his element, and I sincerely hope that Writer-sama will have mercy on me and grant me lightning nature. Bringing up Naruto. He is a disgusting little crap, but I know that once the anime plot begins, he will develop into this awesome dude. Even though Sasuke is the strongest cadet in our batch, he is trash beneath Naruto in status due to Konoha's well-seasoned classism. It was ironic that every day he would march into F-class and engage in a screaming match with Sasuke. Naruto is an elite A-class, while Sasuke is now the pathetic F-class mob. By the way, this is from the child that everyone considers to be garbage. The saddest thing was that Naruto is essentially Sasuke's closest buddy. Since he has the worst reputation conceivable due to being the son of the Uchiha mutiny leader, I am too lazy to put up with Sasuke's emo nonsense, so Naruto is free to have him. Sasuke TME. I moaned when Naruto stormed back into our classroom during recess. TSK. What do you want, Naruto? Sasuke answered, irritated that this obnoxious person had interrupted his lunch. Let's fight. This time I will really beat you. Fighting you doesn't bring me any benefit each time you just hurling punches like a moron. If I have to fight anyone, I rather fight Hataru. Ah! Why would you rather fight this girly face than me? I'm better than him. Sasuke snorted. Hataru would beat you 10 times out of 10. Fucking Sasuke, we never really talk. Instead, we communicate by beating the living daylights out of each other. Sasuke simply outmatched me because he has more chakra than I do, which makes him naturally stronger physically. As a result, I had to keep up by honing my chakra control to send more chakra to the spot he hits in order to lessen the impact. As far as our relationship is concerned, we are engaged in a flipping arms race. Gah! Naruto abruptly pressed his face so near to me, causing me to jolt out of my thoughts. Nay, I don't see it, he lose to you all the time. Naruto dismissively concludes. Gee, thanks for the vote of confidence. The other children looked back at our chairs. In my opinion, what? I inquired bewilderedly. Holy shit. Hataru spoke. I scowled. What did you mean by talk? I'm not silent. I spoke perfectly when professors questioned me. Ignoring the peasant's digressions, Naruto inquired, well, Hataru, let's battle since Sasuke team has so much energy for you. No, I don't wanna. I'm positive that my response caused a collective gasp from the entire class. What? Sasuke consistently rejects Naruto's combat challenge even if he eventually gives in. It's not like my rejection is any different. Oh, Hataru, you're scared of losing? As though he were using a brilliant 7D maneuver to entice me to battle, the little blonde trash smirks. I was inclined to just beat his foolish face in. Hell, even Sasuke seemed interested. Oi, quit wearing the "this is intriguing" expression and return to your emo persona. I groan. Since we are classmates, sparring with Sasuke is acceptable. I am the only child here who can barely compete with him, so it's not worth worrying about. However, fighting Naruto is different because we are not classmates and are therefore not required to interact. An interclass fight would put us in contact outside of our obligations, which would draw attention to me. I don't want to be on Hokage's radar as a possible friend of Naruto because that would also put me on Danzo's radar. For heaven's sake, why didn't he perish in the uprising? It would have greatly simplified my life. After considering my options, I make a crazy action. Hi Sasuke, are you familiar with creating lightning chakra? Hey, pay attention to me. Sasuke must have been amused by this because he ignored Naruto and instead chose to talk to me, a better companion. I heard having experience in contact with certain elements helps to change chakra nature. Hey, those strange sounds must be caused by the wind. You're implying that I can obtain lightning chakra if I insert this fork into that power outlet? Sasuke scowled as he considered it. Perhaps? Well, here we go. The entire class let out a yell. Oh, please, Taru team. I'd like to continue honing my lightning style. Naruto, stop talking. Here, I'm attempting to work. That jerk, Sasuke, simply nods in agreement with Naruto that we should continue honing our lightning technique. In any case, why are you working? I take it you have stipends. Sasuke posing the logical queries. Yes. I received about 5,000 Ryo per week. To put it simply, 100 Ryo is equivalent to $1. In other words, Naruto's weekly lunch money is roughly $50. Well, that quiets them down, allowing me some privacy while I set up my stall at Konoha Plaza. What is my trade? Manga-style children's stories and music. Although being a super ninja is cool, my true passion is the fine arts, and I still regret not realizing my dreams back on Earth. Now, with ninja skill combined with a more developed mind from my earthly enlightenment and toddler neuroplasticity, I quickly learned how to draw and play music in just 2 years. My long-term objective is to someday create my own anime because the Shinobi contract stipulates 10 years of forced service, which means that after I am 22, I may retire and become a mangaka. It's terrible to learn that this world hasn't yet grasped the notion of anime. I'm not that type of OC family, so what? Becoming a shinobi god and ruling over the elemental nations? That's such a dull goal. This is quite good, hey. The Hare and Tortoise is a book that Naruto read. That's 100 Ryo, jackass. All right, good, I also like this Taru team. Your drawings are lovely. I gave him a hard look and struck him in the back of the head. My mom named me Hataru, and you better call it properly. I never made fun of your name, so you better do the same. It appeared as though Naruto had sucked a very sour lemon. Oh, sorry. Fine. After reading my writings, Sasuke questioned me. What caused you to repeatedly sketch the same images? Irika-sensei taught me copy-paste no jutsu. Oh, you better pay for that, no free reading. TSK. I was planning to anyway, after paying me 500 Ryo and packing 5 different short comics into his bag. Naruto played the violin and guitar. I'll never understand why there's a violin and guitar here. Hey, that's rented. Don't touch it. Sheesh, it's not like I'm gonna break anything, he grumbled. I think you should have spent more time to train instead of learning music. You would have been stronger if you weren't losing time with other crafts. Sasuke responded with kindness. Wow, excellent advice. Uchiha-sama, what aspect of my situation as a poor orphan do you not understand? Are you interested in sponsoring me? Sasuke gave a grunt. You could report your caretaker to the police. I merely gave Sasuke a deadpan look and he immediately recognized how foolish that sounded. Since the revolt, Konoha has had no police. Instead, the village's law and order is maintained by overworked career genin, which breeds corruption. My caretaker is just one of several dishonest embezzlers who squander orphan funds like vampires. Aside from the loneliness, Naruto led a really privileged life for an orphan because he is constantly protected by ANBU. He was also the only one who wasn't being ripped off, and he wasn't even being pursued by insane crowds like in fanfics I typically read. A scumbag like me? They wouldn't care if I were robbed on the street. We share an apartment building which turns out to be the cadet dormitory. While I was living in the overcrowded orphanage like a rat, scrounging for food, Naruto was receiving free subsidized ramen from Tucci and sleeping comfortably in his own apartment, which he had before he was even a cadet. Since he doesn't have to battle for food or sleep on the cold, dusty floor every night or labor for food, Naruto has time to think about loneliness. Children like me don't have time to worry about loneliness. If you didn't understand, I kind of hated Naruto. I read a lot of fanfiction, so I was prepared for the cliches. Before I met Naruto in person, I imagined that we would be struggling in this shithole area of town. But I discovered that, in reality, Naruto had it pretty good. Sure, he didn't have any family, but at least he wasn't rotting in the streets. I had to live on the streets for a full year before I was able to leave through the cadet program. I doubt that people would truly despise him so much if he weren't such a rude brat who keeps pulling practical jokes on everyone. Instead, they would be happy to ignore him. Since Naruto is only a child and has no control over anything, I can understand that it's not his fault. I can't help but feel a little resentful of him. Kaya. Hataru-kun. Humph. Popular bastards. Naruto is saddened by the influx of fangirls just before the commencement of my late-night performance. Sasuke simply nodded. At least the poor reputation had released him from the fangirl curse, which states that no parent will let their daughter approach Sasuke, the Uchiha scum. If class be damned. Me? A pretty face plus music means popular content. I'm beginning to think about changing my job path. As these nasty girls devoured my children's story mangas like piranhas, they quickly sold out. I was fairly certain that at this point, they had purchased 10 copies of the identical books. Well, that's not my concern. Their loss is my gain. I just stare at them until they give me a cue to move away. Since I'm going to be popular anyhow, I adopt Sasuke's strategy of acting like a careless jerk and make that my diva personality. It's not much different from how I truly feel about them anyhow. Being adored by cute little girls doesn't make me happy, okay? I'm dying of embarrassment. I never wanted to be a Disney Kids idol, and I can't wait to be an adult and have real grown-up fangirls. Given that ninja eugenics is a real science here, Naruto and Sasuke stay for a while and see my performance for the first time. They seem to be rather impressed, so perhaps my mother gave me the music genes after all. Ryo piled over in the donation box as I continued my performance for the next 3 hours. It was 8 p.m. when I finished. I played the violin and covered a number of anime songs that I knew off. When my neck got stiff from playing the violin for too long, I switched to the guitar and sang some anime songs. with the lyrics rewritten because I honestly don't remember the original. After Naruto and Sasuke returned to me, I packed my money into my backpack and began packing up my booth. Now that I think about it, Naruto and Sasuke spend a lot of time together, even when they're not training. I suppose they've become close friends. They suddenly begin to assist me with packing. I said I can pack up on my own, but I wasn't actually trying to stop them because I was worn out from performing. Hey Hataru, we're pals. Let us assist you, Naruto applauded. I've eyed Sasuke since we were buddies. Sasuke folded the portable table and simply shrugged. Let's get some ramen, Hataru. The food of the gods will be shown to you. Ichiraka ramen was a legend, and as a proper weeb, I need to at least try it once to see whether the legend is true, but I'm too exhausted right now to flee Naruto's nonsense. Sure, why not? What a strange guy. Naruto must truly enjoy ramen because he has the brightest smile ever after looking astonished. As if he didn't think I would accept the invitation at all. Hataru, this is going to be the most amazing night ever. Have faith. I answered in a monotone. If this is my best night, I dread my future standard of happiness. Sasuke and Naruto's point of view. An hour after Hataru's musical performance begins. As the plaza grew increasingly packed with spectators, Naruto and Sasuke departed. Although Hataru has been performing on the street every week since last year, this was the first time they had actually seen him perform. I thought I was going to make fun of him when he plays, but I didn't expect that Hataru is actually good at singing and playing music. Sasuke, Hataru hates me, isn't it? Sasuke doesn't respond, and Makoto Hataru is, to put it mildly, strange. He's constantly silent, never engages in conversation or interaction with others outside of school-related matters, and always comes off as uninterested in other people. With the exception of Naruto, it was subtle, but if Naruto is present, it seems like he has a faint hatred in his eyes. I'm used with people looking at me with hate, but it's always a bit different with Hataru, like it's personal for him. Both of them are only 10 years old, thus they lack the emotional maturity to grasp that Hataru is experiencing resentment. Naruto is aware that Hataru's hate is different, but he lacks the emotional complexity to comprehend it at this time. Naruto admits, if I am to be honest, Hataru kind of scares me. Sasuke was a confused mess 2 years ago, and he would have fallen into the abyss if it weren't for his mother. With her guidance, he was able to gradually resolve the conflict in his heart and make it into determination to restore his clan honor. He hates his father for trying to revolt and betray his own village, and he resents Itachi for choosing to side with the village and fight their own father, which led to their mutual death. He has the clan and his mother. The Hokage, Irika-sensei, the ramen vendor, and his daughter are all part of Naruto. Makoto Hataru? No one is around him. When he actually talked to us, I was surprised. I worried all this time that he's just going to explode at me. But it turns out he could have just talked casually with us. He was kind of an ass, but he wasn't that bad, since he didn't feel like battling Naruto that day. Sasuke was also taken aback. He pointed him toward him on a whim, and then suddenly Hataru just spoke to them, as though he had been a ghost the entire time and had now decided to come back to life. He then went ahead and electrocuted himself. It would be an understatement to say that Sasuke was already at odds with the academy, and Hataru's accident may be used as a justification for his expulsion. After that, I thought, maybe we can be friends, maybe I pranked him a long time ago and he just angry, and then, we heard his songs, Sasuke. Sasuke stays quiet and comes to the same conclusion. He sounds so sad, Sasuke. I don't think he's ever been happy. If he wasn't training, he works. If he wasn't working, he trains. I don't see him as much as you, Sasuke, but I never seen him eat anything more than plain, cheap food. I don't think he ever eat anything good. Even I splurge sometimes, Sasuke, and I am an orphan like him. Sasuke didn't say it, unlike him, and even a fool could see that Naruto had it better than other orphans. Most orphans aren't allowed to refer to the Hokage as Old Gramps. Sasuke doesn't think he is a high-caliber ninja yet, but after many spars with Hataru, he thinks he can tell what Hataru thinks a bit. It's one of the few times Hataru would exist, and Sasuke vaguely felt like Hataru is like resigned if he had to describe it, like he was halfway given up already. It's honestly what keeps him from really approaching Hataru outside of spars. It's as if Hataru doesn't want to really beat him and it enrages him. So I made the decision to become friends with Hataru, Sasuke. For once, I'm going to put a grin on his foolish girly face. Whatever is wrong with Hataru, he's shit out of luck now that Naruto has his sights set on him and there's no way he's getting rid of him, Sasuke said with a simple snort. Believe him, he made an effort. Congratulations, Makoto Hataru. You have been moved to Class 3A. Our beloved homeroom teacher, Mizuki, broke the dreadful news to the class at the beginning of the session. Wow, Hataru-kun is finally promoted and he got straight to a class. So amazing, exclaims the entire class. I can sense the resentment from Sasuke, who is seated behind me. Politics is really Sasuke's worst enemy, and it makes sense that he deserves to be promoted for so long. Everyone was clapping and observing me with anticipation. In response, I provide my ultimatum. I don't wanna. In the Homicide Kiddos Academy, everyone's life goal is to get promoted. The higher your class rank, the better your education, training, and equipment are. The Konoha caste system is at the forefront of academic technology, producing world-class ninjas who spit out high-quality nukes. Why would anyone in their right mind deny them such a coveted opportunity? Lo me fuck that shit. I want to join the corrupt genin police force as a career genin and graduate as a shitty incompetent. I want to live a simple life, beating the living daylights out of small-time criminals who are too weak to resist my obviously undeserved shinobi skills. After my required service is over, I will withdraw my pension. Like hell, I'm going to join the Nippo baby squads, get ordered to complete pointless C-rank tasks that are actually S-rank missions, then take a pointless suicide test. Makoto, you must be transferred right now. This is not an option. Now get your belongings and leave this place. Alright, I'll leave. Knock. I cocked my head away from the drawing board where I was sketching the manga adaptation of Hansel and Gretel. I thought it was a grim tale, of course. Knock, it must be the wind. Huh? Open up, Hataru, I know you're in there. Oh no, that's Sasuke. I reluctantly stand up and open the door. What? Unimpressed, Sasuke simply folded his arms. You haven't gone to school for 3 days. I make a grunt. Have you not heard? I resigned. No one quits the academy. Idiot. We're all forced draft. Well, I'd be the first to quit them. Sasuke grimaced in exasperation. Look, Mizuki is willing to let things slide and just mark you sick for the past 3 days, but you gotta go to school tomorrow. This is no joke. Hataru, they're going to lynch you as deserter if you keep this up. Don't worry, Sasuke, this is all part of my master plan. Hataru, I know you. You have no plans. You have the planning ability of a duck. I laughed menacingly. That's exactly the plan, the sitting duck maneuver. Now fuck off, Sasuke, I'm busy. I slammed the door in his face before he can reply. It's windy today, man, and I keep hearing strange noises. You're the child that Hiruzen keeps yapping about, and I don't see what makes you so remarkable. You don't have any clan jutsu or special Kekkei Genkai, and your chakra reserve is pitiful. Why does Hiruzen want to raise you from F class to a class? In summary, I was abducted into Root HQ. I was about to fall asleep as usual when I suddenly woke up to find myself standing in front of Shimura Danzo. I really put myself in a bad position this time, man. Maybe it's because I am BFF with his grandson. Grandson? I looked over your files, kid, and I can see that you have never gotten in touch with Konohamaru. I'm going to overlook the fact that Danzo apparently understands enough brainwashing jargon to grasp what BFF implies. Perhaps I could ask Danzo to teach me the skibbity toilet language. I mean the other grandson. Who? That Naruto kid, you know? It's the one who calls the Hokage Old Gramps. Shimura Danzo was ready to respond when I could see his mind going into overdrive, thinking, underneath. Yes, you get what I mean. He is so far below the surface that he is most likely at the center of the earth by now. Of course, everything makes sense. Minato is powerful and genius for this reason. Hiruzen makes him Hokage for that reason. All along, Namake's Minato has been his secret love child. Hiruzen, you are a genius. All this time, you have been tricking us all that he is a mere clanless brat. I figured the ninja's overthinking shtick and eugenics ideology would surprise me, but wow, Danzo just went all anime ball deep with his theory constructing. I can't even make this stuff up. Thank you for bringing up this matter to me. Now, sorry to say, you need to die. I don't wanna. I can't have you inform Hiruzen that I now know his secret, can I? This isn't a negotiating, brat. With my hands in the renowned Shikamura thinking pose, I said to myself, what are you doing? I'm thinking, isn't it true that you are a spy? Well, tell me, Danzo-sama, are you aware of the true mechanism behind the Nara thinking pose? Danzo scoffed. It's nothing more than just a silly pose. Well, what made you believe that the Naras were insane geniuses? In actuality, Nara Kekkei Jankai is telepathic networking. Our brains are all connected, which is why we all have IQs that are off the charts. The Nara thinking pose enables us to fully connect into the Nara neural network, elevating our already remarkable IQ to godhood. Checkmate Danzo, you made the mistake of inviting me into your home. I am now connected to the Nara neural network and we are all around you. Danzo pulled out his kunai right away with the intention of killing me. Remember, I am connected to the neural network. Currently, you are being broadcasted straight into the Hokage office. Through my associate, Nara Shikaku, you're on thin ice, Shimura Danzo. Lie. You're playing a bluff. The Hokage just said this. Danzo is a coward that's too chicken to volunteer as bait. Hence how I become Hokage, because I volunteered. Hiruzen is the only one who is aware of Danzo's secret shame, and I have virtually verified that I have connected to the Nara neural network. The Hokage is willing to spare you for discovering his greatest secret. However, you are hereby banished, retired. Officially speaking, however, the Hokage appreciates your patriotic endeavors to protect Konoha from the shadows. So he assigns you your last, perhaps greatest mission of your life. You must investigate this rumored mercenary group called the Akatsuki. After giving this some thought, Danzo decided to step down. Hiruzen, I accept this mission. The route will provide for the leaf. A route agent escorted me out of the base, and I found myself exiting the manhole directly in front of the Konoha DMV office after I nod and break out of my Nara position, demonstrating Danzo's complete confidence. It's no surprise that no one has figured out where Danzo is hiding. He's a crazy person. Two masked figures appeared directly in front of me. Well done, you certainly enhanced my appearance as a Hokage secret spy. PFDD Nara neural network? I must admit that I was surprised that I could think of that nonsense right away. Maybe I'm gifted in the fine arts of genjutsu. Man of the paranoid genius ninjas, Makoto Hataru, the Hokage summons you. I groan as I notice that it's definitely not Kakashi. It feels like it's still early and I'll be exhausted tomorrow. Now, why did you hide in the sewers, young Makoto? To escape the village, obviously. And yet, really? If not, why was I in the sewers? I reason that since human waste must go somewhere and flows via sewers, sewers must lead somewhere. The Hokage closed his eyes and smoked his pipe while reflecting on my wisdom. Sometimes I forgot the simplicity of a child's mind, the elderly gentleman said. Still, Makoto, you are a citizen of Konoha. You cannot leave the village without permission. Obviously, I would wander in sewers for no other reason. Touché. When did Naruto start speaking French? The punishment of deserter is death. Young Makoto, you do not want to entertain such notion. Sure. Just leave me in F class then. The Hokage let out a sigh. Why did you not want to take advantage of this chance for a better future, Makoto? Since I don't want to be your most valuable asset, it goes without saying that being in a class will provide you with a better atmosphere for strengthening, but it will also send you on risky missions. I'm not playing your complicated military-industrial game. My goal is to have a secure career for the next 10 years as an inept genin performing endless D ranks. Although I would be the first to be executed in the event of a war in order to obtain intelligence, I am depending on that to be my ticket out of jail because I fabricated my death. Nobody would care about adding another death to the Genin Core death toll. Genin Core is the safest location to be during a period of peace, which I know will last until Pain's attack. Of course, there will be an Orochimaru attack in the meantime, but I have plans for that. How can I advance when Sasuke hasn't, Hokage-sama? He is the one who deserves to be promoted. The Hokage furrowed his brow. Sasuke's situation is complicated. While I do want him to flourish further, my hands are tied. Well, good luck. In any case, why did you want to elevate me? My phys average isn't too high, so at most I'll just be promoted to D class. Makoto, do you even comprehend what is happening to your body? I already had the bees and birds class. After a moment of shock, the Hokage collected himself. Do you know that your chakra is constantly in the form of lightning, Makoto? I'm referring to the power that has awakened within you. So I have lightning nature? Big deal, that's not that unique. No, Makoto, chakra normally exists in a neutral state. Through jutsu and chakra control, you transmute your chakra into elemental chakra. Your chakra, on the other hand, is continuously exist as lightning chakra. What you have is a Kekkai Genkai. And yet, oh, motherfucker, isn't the dang writer simply trying to screw me over by giving me my OC special power? I'll put a cactus up your asshole one day, you bitch. Just wait. So I can use lightning jutsu easier now. What's the big deal? Oh no, it's quite the big deal actually. For one, you can no longer perform jutsu that is not lightning based anymore. Yes, it makes sense why I kept zapping myself when attempting to use copy-paste no jutsu. Alright, so how do I go about creating copies of my manga now? Sound like a demerit for me. That's not a promotional material. The Hokage smugly strokes his short beard. Yes, it does make you overly skilled in lightning jutsu, but there are benefits to it as well. For instance, how many times have you been hit by genjutsu? Oh, never. Makoto, for the past 2 weeks, I had genjutsu specialists trying to trap you in illusions over 200 times. 100 of those is by Yuhi Kurenai, our top genjutsu specialist. I sure don't feel like it, unless this is a genjutsu, and I've been in Matrix this whole time. Matrix? In any case, the majority of genjutsu involves interfering with your brain's electrical communications. Because of your constant lightning chakra, most genjutsu cannot interfere with your brain signals, rendering you immune to them. Wow, immunity to jutsu type that most ninjas doesn't use, how special. My unamused response was coughed over by the Hokage. Then all of a sudden my hand is holding a Sanban. You essentially have the reflex of Uchiha now, and you also know where all of my guards were hidden, don't you? That's another one of your new abilities, enhanced reflex and autonomous response. When you entered my office, I noticed that you looked at everyone's positions. They can suppress chakra, but nobody can conceal their bioelectric signature. Oh, I thought I'd just become a regular chakra sensor. In theory, they can conceal their bioelectricity by wrapping themselves in tinfoils, but I doubt I'll inform them. Your control over the lightning element will be unprecedented. The academic board is eager to invest to the birth of a new bloodline in Konoha, the Makoto clan Kekkai Genkai, Reiju. They've even given my new power a name. How in the world did I get here? I was a complete moron when I plugged a fork into a power outlet, and now I have a clan. This writer must truly want me dead, man. Still no. Unless Sasuke get promoted, I'm staying. Fine, the Hokage said, relinquishing Glorious Sasuke and Hataru promotions to a class. Dobe, stop talking. You don't have to shout. Hee. I played around with the radio's antenna while Sasuke and Naruto joked, while they waited for their celebration ramen. Buzz bzzzzz. Am Denschel. Oh, what is that? Naruto leaped out of his chair in fear. Oh, I trying to manipulate electromagnetic pulses in order to generate speech through radio. I think I'm getting the hang of this. Dude, don't do any spooky experiments outside of your room. I can use this for a variety of purposes. I can easily jam radio signals, and once I figure it out, I can even use myself as a radio antenna, converting radio signals straight into noise and images within my head. In other words, I am essentially a human SAO console. The computers here are still from the 1980s, but by the time I'm 30, they should be sufficiently sophisticated for me to use electronic control to create my own animation using only my imagination. It's fairly cool that I can now gaslit myself of my reality, though, and I even cropped Naruto's face so that I don't have to see his hideous mug. For now, though, I have to make do with simply genjutting myself to view anime like AR glasses by manipulating my brain impulses. It's amazing to have Killua and Misaka Makoto's combined might. In any case, Sasuke appears extremely pleased about his recent promotion. In fact, Uchiha appears equally pleased. For Hataru-kun, one carriage ramen, the best waifu in the Narutoverse, I am put my order like the ideal person she is. Naruto is foolish for not getting married to her. Dudes, it's going to be fantastic. In Class A, we'll be the most formidable team. Naruto applauded. Sasuke grinned and said, as if, Naruto, you're dead last, only during the written exam. In fact, I'm the class's strongest person. Sasuke continued, I'm pretty sure you lose to Kiba and Chuji every time. As I savored my ramen, I ignored the two idiots who were bickering over the power dynamics of 10-year-old children. This is a great dish to get me going. I'm going to kill Haruno Sakura tomorrow. And that's all. To his dismay, Sasuke completed his self-introduction. Being a true introvert, he must be extremely hurt by this social act. The fact that the majority of children view him as a complete jerk doesn't help either. Racism, clanism, tribalism, etc. are all common in Konoha. Don't alter. Konoha. Irika, the homeroom teacher for Class 3A, gently instructed me, now it's your turn. I approach the teacher stage and stand slackly in front of the children. Sup. I then proceed to my rear seat. Wait, you didn't reveal your name to them. Irika bemoaned, they're flipping ninjas, figure it out to yourself. The class started chatting about who this bozo was and why he was so cool, rude, and strange. Students, please stop talking. Anyway, his name is Makoto Hataru and he and Sasuke will be joining us in Class A. I suppose Hataru-kun is bashful. Come on, sensei. Why should we allow these losers from the F class to join us? Our style is being cramped by them. As if Naruto wasn't already pitiful enough, like the chihuahua he truly is, Kiba barked. I already ignore whatever the most irrelevant character ever says, which is bullshit dog breath. The females are already looking at me in the meantime. Yes, this is what I've determined. Sasuke is no longer the hottest 10-year-old he would typically be in the toddler dating market because of my meddling with the canon event, which has left the Uchiha clan largely intact but viewed as the worst clan ever. That evil role now belongs to me. I am basically just Sasuke with blue eyes, a black-haired prodigy with Sugoi no Kekiai Genkai who is also adorable. At least in those days, my F-class cast made me unpopular with most people. But now that I'm a rising star, a diamond in the rough, and have finally made it into the glorious OC wanking spotlight, everyone will love me because I can fix all of their issues flawlessly and I have girls flocking to me like flies to trash. I'm quickly becoming the Gary Stu OC that everyone has long feared. Naturally, this implies that I'll get sucked into by Sakura. Kya? He's quite attractive. Yes. I recognize the obscene voice of a pink banshee. I hate Sakura dearly, and her marriage to Sasuke is the biggest betrayal in anime history, let me tell you. Really, the only ship that makes sense in this universe is Naruto x Sasuke. And I don't even like yaoi. The fucking worthless piece of bubblegum miraculously wedded Sasuke via pure nonsense, permanently ruining the Uchiha gene. You won't have any more big-titty Uchiha waifu. Sasuke marrying Karen would be the worst scenario. I could go on and on about Sakura, but basically it comes down to the fact that she is a trash character. Oh, Naruto and Sasuke have a different background, so let's add a normie here. She is also a bitch and useless, by the way. The heroine slot is a complete waste of time, and I choose Tenten over her, even though I don't like Tenten. Konoha 9 is a staple as usual, but since there are 30 students in the class, there are 21 background characters, including myself, who are all members of unnamed clans that the show didn't bother to explain. According to canon, those 21 children would fail the Jounin Sensei test and be sent back to the academy, but that isn't the case in this fanfic fanon. The Jounin Sensei test would merely be a test to teach youngsters simple values like collaboration and don't betray your friends. They won't send us to Genin Corps even if we fail. Class A and B is where they trained the Genin squads, the best of the best. I have no interest in becoming friends with these affluent children. Anyway, it seems like I've been thinking all along that recess is already over and that the girls are already swarming about me, with Sakura being just as annoying as I recall. In any case, Sakura is as trash as I remember, and I have no intention of tolerating her the way Sasuke did. I was considering playing nice in case she doesn't turn into a bitch after leaving Ino for an 8-year-old Sasuke. Really, do girls get this fixated on romance even before puberty? I clench my fist, pull it to the back, and strike Sakura's nose as forcefully as I could. I demand that this street rat be kicked out of this school right away. Haruno Karen is so furious that she transformed the Hulk into a Zen master. In order to establish my new rep as a complete jerk with no honor or ability to punch girls, I punched Sakura in the face. That's very dumb. When did ninjas have honor? Any foolish fangirling that began to take root in Class A was quickly put down. I am the jerk who punched adorable Sakura-chan and laughed uncontrollably. Fortunately, I am no longer plagued by Sakura's foolish obsession. Unless she deceived herself into believing that I was merely bashful and that everything happened by chance. Perhaps I should murder Sakura later. As Karen, probably not her real name, but whatever, and Irika engage in a heated argument in front of the principal, I stand in the corner of the room. Specifically, the Hokage. That new Ika volume won't read itself, he moaned, and he truly had better things to do than oversee my delinquent behavior. Now, Makoto, could you tell us why you struck little Sakura? The elderly man asks me in a genuine effort to comprehend. She's ugly. So I decide to do Konoha a favor and eliminate her from the gene pool. I really like the self-gaslit function of my Kekiai Genkai, and it truly improves my quality of life. Haruno Karen is probably screaming something awful, but I adjust my brain signals to isolate and silence whatever trash she craps out. I am too old for this, Madam Haruno. We will punish young Makoto here, but we will not expel him, the elderly gentleman says. Another Karening cycle is most likely underway, but I'm already in La La Land mentally rewatching Jujutsu Kaisen. And that's how I ended up having to clean sewers for the next 3 months. Sasuke and Naruto are fighting to keep from throwing up while they deal with the pungent sewer odor. Dude, how can you endure spending hours working in here? It really stinks. Though he's busy attempting to breathe without gagging, Sasuke is most likely trying to say something. I just say to myself, the sewers don't stink. It's actually quite fragrant, and voila, it doesn't stink anymore. You have a strange superpower. Well, why are you here at all? I asked absently as I dug out another piece of rubbish that had clogged the drain. I'm busy. We assume you'd like company. I foolishly eyed Naruto. Really? Company? Wow, giving me company as I dig out trashes from the sewers, really supportive there, folks. We can help you. All right, then. For what reason are you waiting? Sasuke declines right away. Well, air. I'll go back to change my clothes then. My mom would kill me if I ruined this one. Sasuke, you had better return quickly. This place has a lot of trash that needs to be removed. As Sasuke dashes out of the sewers, Naruto reminds him. Thanks to timeskip, my sentence is now finished after 3 months and Konoha sewers are now clean as a thank you to me. I once informed the two idiots that they could simply walk on sewage and stick to moldy sewer walls to develop chakra control. After 3 months of sewer training, they were likely stronger than their canon selves at this age, which is funny enough. Me? I'm no longer able to use standard chakra control techniques like that since they only cause lightning to zap. However, after 3 months of only practicing electromagnetic manipulation, I was able to use it to train my electromagnetism to throw out metallic debris and adhere to walls by drawing attention to the steel inside concrete walls. Whoa! You truly turned iron sands into a sword. Yes, I'm totally stealing off Misaka for that one. I cut down trees and they fall in a single cut. I think it's something to do with high-frequency blades. I don't think I'll pull a Gaara anytime soon, though, because this magnet-style bullshit drains my chakra so badly. What I actually want to do is, Zong. This is the method the bingo book will list me for. I can use electromagnetic as a catapult to flick magnetic metal like this steel chip I cut out and shoot it at a minimum speed of Mach 3. Railgun. I'm incredibly excited by the Tuaru Kagaku OST that I can hear playing in my ears. As I swing my hand around while aiming, I can feel the ANBU flickering all over the place in panic. I'm sure the old man was clenching his teeth watching my toddler ass just nuke the training ground 9 by simply flicking steel chips. Naruto and Sasuke both seethe from envy and sheer awesomeness of the peak lightning style control I'm doing. I don't think they understand yet how a magnet and electricity are related, so good luck with that. Using a railgun is far more complex than simply charging a metal object with electricity. Enough of testing your new jutsu, Hotaru, let's spar. Sasuke is tired of my shenanigans and wants to fight me immediately. Since I awakened my Kekkei Genkai, Sasuke has found it more difficult to defeat me. Because of the lightning chakra that is constantly circulating within me, my reflexes and autonomous responses are off the charts for a toddler. I was too strong for him, and he had to admit that he had unlocked one Tomo Sharingan the entire time. The Sharingan is the only reason I didn't just slam him to the ground because it improves his reflexes and vision. I'm afraid it will take some time for your tanker build to shine, Naruto. For now, Sasuke and I are taijutsu monsters that destroy everyone in Class 3A. We are referred to informally as the Girl Beater Scum, the Demon Brat Scum, the Uchiha Scum, and the Scum Trio. I once punched Sakura, but Kiba grabbed onto it like it was his lifeblood. His position as top dog was completely destroyed when Sasuke and I appeared. Come on, Kiba, you're just a glorified dog keeper. And your clan isn't crap. In any case, I only sparred with Sasuke for 5 minutes. This is the problem with my Kekkei Genkai since it uses a lot of chakra and I don't have much of it. Positively, I can use live wire to recharge my chakra, but it's not like I can just grab an electric cable in the middle of a fight. The only way I can deal with this low chakra issue is to train every day and let it develop naturally. I doubt I'll ever have a Hokage tier reserve in my lifetime. Now that I'm stuck with this dumb main character plot, I need power, more power, because there's so much bullshit I have to survive against. You know what? Seals are capable of storing things? Hey Naruto, did you know that seals were a specialty of the Uzumaki clan? Ha! Stop studying the kanji nonsense and let Naruto handle it. September has arrived. Irika let out a sigh and accepted the impending headache. He is unsure about how to feel about Makoto Hotaru. He was cautioned that Makoto could be difficult when he got the Hokage's order to transfer the owner of the brand new Kekkei Genkai of Konoha. Difficult is an understatement. It's more like bats hit crazy. It wasn't the first time he dealt with snobby elite kids, but he just felt he was a rude kid with his head up his ass for receiving a new Kekkei Genkai, and that was okay with him. It was a miracle that Sakura hasn't departed the academy yet, despite being completely frightened by Makoto. The child then proceeded to strike her in the face with full ninja strength, which was unusual for his age. The worst part is that Makoto shows no remorse for it and treats Sakura as like she doesn't exist anymore. Although empathy isn't a prerequisite for being a ninja, most people still possess it, however subtly because of their line of work. Makoto Hataru's eyes don't care about anyone. Makoto is usually just stuck in his head. He was informed that one of his side effects is that he can control his brainwave to play movies inside his head, which he frequently does in class despite his best efforts to stop it. It used to unnerve him when he tried to keep him grounded in reality. The way Makoto looked at him when he was actually there gives him chills. He doesn't seem to consider him human. He didn't want to deal with Makoto after that, so he opted for him to simply remain in his thoughts. That child is certain that he is a monster. Makoto rarely causes problems, but when he does, it's significant. Sakura was only the initial casualty of his terror campaign. After learning his lesson the first time, Makoto would use the authority to challenge other ninja to a fight with stakes anytime other children bothered him excessively. The initial group of children were stupid enough to fall for the trick. He beat and broke 3 children before Kiba stepped up to challenge him as their year's self-proclaimed strongest. When Makoto was around, Kiba's confidence vanished and he cowered in terror. He needed metal pins to reset his limbs and legs. Perhaps he can relate to Makoto if he is a sadist who enjoys inflicting pain on others. Sadistic ninjas are common, and their line of work thrives on that mindset. What particularly unnerves Makoto is his complete indifference to the agony and suffering of others. It's as if he is not human. The problem was that Makoto doesn't want to harm people. He only broke them to solve the issue. He doesn't understand how Naruto is still his friend. Yes, he tried to tell Naruto to avoid him, but Naruto ignored him because he couldn't see what Makoto did. Today is really not his day, Irika said, pinching the bridge of his nose. Today, Yumino Irika, will preside over the duel between Hyuga Niji and Makoto Hataru. He dreaded Makoto because he would sleep blissfully in his brain and then suddenly wake up and decide to use violence. The boy's Kekiai Genkai was given a proper name by the Hokage. The beast known as Reiju is mostly peaceful and innocuous, but when a thunderstorm strikes, it causes mayhem. I shall have your head, scumbag of a street rat. Bitch please, at least I'm not a slave. The dispute began when Niji arrived and smugly made fun of the scum trio while they were playing spinning top in the academy backyard. This disagreement started when Hataru called him, quote, a bitch-ass slave who secretly had feelings for his sister cousin. Everyone is aware at this point that you should avoid getting into a heated argument with Makoto because doing so would only cause you harm. Irika commanded, now make the sign of confrontation. He's just going to disregard Makoto giving Niji the bird, which he supposes counts. Duel. The audience applauded as Niji, the strongest final-year cadet, beat Makoto and showed him where he belonged. Niji even went all out and used his Byakugan. He hurried over to Makoto and launched his volley of gentle fists. But Makoto's extraordinary reflexes turned him into a kind of Uchiha impersonator. Niji is incredibly quick, but Makoto is quicker. Within 10 seconds, Niji had stabbed more than 50 times. Makoto also parries each one of them. Niji stumbled backward, his arms shaking. It contains minor burned spots and scratches, which may not seem like much, but they have terrible consequences. With the extra effect of Gentle Fist, Makoto Hataru's own taijutsu, Raijin Fist, is based loosely on Kiba's Beastman Fist. It electrocutes and disrupts electrical signals in the nerves. It is a foolish idea to use taijutsu against Makoto without protective equipment. Irika attempted to advise, you should call it quits, Niji, but as if the scum will defeat me. It was fate. Well, have you thought that perhaps it's fated that I, a street mouse, will defeat you? As though fate is never in favor of a scumbag like you. Well, I don't think Lady Fate favor a slave like you either. You're her bitch, man. Makoto. Niji reached him faster than most genin, and he used 8 trigrams, 32 palms, which was quicker than his usual blows before. Makoto continues to parry each one of them. Aha! As his arms shake from electricity pain, Niji yells, "How did it feel, slave? It was bold of you to presume that I had used my maximum amp previously. Tingly? Arg." Niji's fury overtakes him as he heedlessly attempts to strike Makoto. He no longer even uses a soft fist. Instead, he now uses punches and kicks. And Makoto continued to make fun of him by avoiding him while keeping her eyes closed. Sheesh. Byakugan is so overrated. For an all-seeing eyes you sure are blind. If Reiju's autonomous action and reflex made him a pseudo-Uchiha, then Reiju's magnetic sense made him a pseudo-Hyuga. Makoto can sense Niji's location even while his eyes are closed, and his senses are so good that he can even track his movements. Only his little chakra reserve prevents Makoto Hataru from being a monster, and even then he makes do with what he has. Makoto's style is to spend little and generate as much money as possible. Alright, slave, time to finish this. There is nothing Niji can do to protect himself, so the Byakugan is left to watch in terror as he is brutally beaten for a full minute. His nerves are numbed, so his body is unable to react to anything. One particular bowl-cut guy would contest the Hyuga's declaration that the gentle fist was Konoha's best taijutsu. Nevertheless, the Raijin fist had shut down Gentle Fist that day. Irika can only feel sorry for the Hokage because of the upcoming office outcry.